California's efforts to enforce a ban on hemp THC products are facing significant challenges. Governor Gavin Newsom introduced the emergency ban last month, citing a public health crisis and promising swift enforcement. However, an investigation by SFGate reveals that many smoke shops in the Bay Area are still selling these banned products, including Delta-8 THC vapes and edibles. Despite Newsom's declaration, retailers continue to offer hemp THC products. SFGate visited multiple stores and found items like THC-infused gummies for sale, violating the emergency regulation that prohibits even trace amounts of THC. Newsom's office states that enforcement is ramping up, and those who disregard the ban may face fines or license suspensions. Oh, boy. The hemp market, which exploded after Congress legalized it in 2018, remains largely unregulated. Newsom's ban is the latest attempt to address the issue, but local law enforcement has reported minimal resources to carry out effective enforcement. Meanwhile, confusion over the ban persists, with some retailers unaware of the new regulations. As California grapples with this ongoing issue, many are left questioning whether the ban will have any real impact on the sale of hemp THC products statewide. Stay tuned as we continue to follow this developing story, because this one is a shit show, guys. Listen, I think that it's pretty easy to regulate. They just maybe don't have the bandwidth, and maybe California, how we've been policing everything else. Maybe we're just not used to regulating really anything. Maybe we're not used to enforcing crime, and maybe we're just struggling with it. But I think that take a look at what's going on in New York. This is going to be an uphill battle. There are a lot of freaking smoke shops. There are a lot more smoke shops than there are licensed cannabis retailers, right? Because it's a lower barrier to entry, and if they're making the same margins on hemp products, it's going to be hard to shut that down. I mean, you could still walk into a lot of these places and buy these guys that have been illegal for quite a while. You just have to ask, and they'll pull them out of the back. So I'll throw it back to you guys, and we'll see what you think about Newsom's not so effective ban on hemp-derived THC.
Man. You know what, Jenny? I know of a store that they are actually really trying to enforce this. But before I go into that story, I'm confused on the article because you said that the governor said that he will pull their license. I want to know what license they have to sell these products, because the last time I checked, all they have is a regular business license from a city.
Ding, ding, fucking ding. That'd be the one. You're going to lose your reseller's license and lose your license to operate a business in the state of California, is what he's saying. So you answered your own question trying to be a smart ass. I love it when you do that.
You're saying that's fine. Sometimes I got to talk through things.
There's also a tobacco sale license. There's different licenses, right? Like, because anytime that there's a special tax on something, you have to go through the tax bureaus and things like that to obtain certain permits to be able to sell those products. So I would have to look in, because to be completely honest with you, I open up weed stores, not tobacco ones. So I'd have to look into what all their special regulations are. Yeah, but I did try to open that cigar lounge, so I do know that there are some special licensing that you do have to get to cover tobacco products.
I think this is going to piss people off a lot, and there's going to be a big protest in regards to this if they push.
Imagine everybody, if the flavored vape people and the hemp derived THC people link arms and start picketing.
Mm-hmm.
Red Rover.
Exactly.
And THCA right over.
But yeah, I did hear of a store that had some enforcement. They had someone from the state go in there and basically tell them that they can't sell the different products on their shelf and whatnot, and that if they continued that they would get fined or face other consequences.
I thought the Cheech and Chong lawsuit would spawn other lawsuits from other folks just coming out of the woodwork. Maybe doing a class action.
I think there is another one. I think there is one other lawsuit besides the Cheech and Chong one, Todd.
I'll look into that, but I think the Cheech and Chong one is just a grapple. I mean, very nice gentlemen, very amazing, very sweet people, very sweet wives, but very many failed attempts into the cannabis space, unless you're talking about the Tommy Chong bong.
Sure.
Oh boy.
Well, it's true.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That maybe it's bad partnerships. I don't know. But I mean, I think this is a cash grab, because I'd love to see how much that brand was actually making to begin with, right? Because if you got to show me monetary damages, I need to see what your revenues are.
Right.
But no, I think this is interesting. I mean, this is a very large net that Newsom has cast with very little insight on how to do. I mean, I think
it sounds like their way to do a lot of selective enforcement, in my opinion, Jenny Beth.
That's going to be my new pickup line when I'm in California. Now that I'm newly single, I'll be like, let me show you my monetary damages. I I think this
And
is
then you bring out your divorce settlement?
How's that gonna? That's not gonna get them all ready for you, Yarrow.
Oh,
you're wasting some money on that bitch.
They're gonna be like, "Fuck, she took everything."
Exactly.
So they're gonna be like,
pay
"Damn,
that
this little
bitch
fella used to
every
have
week."
money. Nice to meet you, guy."
Yeah.
No, motherfucker's buttoned up with a prenup.
She's a man-eater.
Oh my God. So the thing that's just challenging for me is it makes me put on my tinfoil hat and wonder whether this whole thing around and outlawing intoxicating cannabinoids, hemp-derived cannabinoids in California wasn't just to preempt the likelihood that there was going to be some underage non-age restricted incident that led to the injury of a minor, but also this idea that, like, okay, there's a funding mechanism here, right? Now they're going to say, we need this money to go after these people.
Yep.
Prohibition 3.0. And this idea that they're creating a new trap market, and now they're justifying what was it, $900 million, $1 billion. Like Elf on the Shelf gets angry when somebody is spending $1 billion to go against something that could be regulated, could have a path to being regulated, could have a way of being in a supply chain with parity with cannabis-derived cannabinoids. And so why they wouldn't put the brain, the collective policy capabilities together of, Origins Council and CCIA and all the different stakeholders to figure out how they can come up with something that doesn't require $1 billion in enforcement is super troubling.
You mean all the people that are trying to protect their asses and protectionist business policies to ask them how to enforce against the people they already want shut down?
It's not going to. This isn't going to stop anything. It's just going to create for some more headlines that we'll get to cover here.
I mean, to be fair, it is California. Everything here that the government does is going to cost about 10x what a normal government is going to do. So, that doesn't surprise me. Paper towels at the state capitol probably cost $20 a piece. So, it's okay. This is normal pork barreling as we see everywhere else. California is just special because it's done under the guise of the helpful hand. And this is not helpful. We've seen it time and time again. I've only lived in California for 7 years, and I can tell you that it's pretty fucked up. But it's, it is what it is. You're not going to get out of a situation where the sixth largest economy in the world isn't fucking shit up. That's just how it is.
No, absolutely. I mean, and I love one that Yarrow has taken advantage and just owned that nickname that I gave him. I really loved that intro. I'm going to continue that forward, even if Jason tries to steal it. But I mean, Saman's absolutely right. Like, we are not only cost 10 times more than anywhere else, but it's 10 times less effective than anywhere else, right? We're putting all this money towards these initiatives. We're going to enforce this. We're going to enforce that. All you did was make people move stock to the back room, and you got to come out and wink at a guy 3 times, or they have some little delivery app where now it's costing consumers a $50 minimum purchase and a $10 delivery fee to have it just dropped off to their freaking houses in the first place, right? So, like, I think that it's so disingenuous that this had to be an emergency fucking regulation. Emergency, give us tax cuts. Emergency, give us something else. Emergency, do a lot of other things that aren't this.
Gas prices.
Please, God.
State, Jenny, in your home state, in Georgia, it's like $2.50. Why are we still paying $5 here?
I know, right? Somebody can still give you $10 in a straight face and be like, here, I got gas money for you. And you're like, all right, get in.
Saman, you were just in Colorado. How much is the gas there?
The gas there is like $3, but it's like three and change. But it's it's like there's obvious disparity with pricing. It's like
you know what I call that? You know what I call that?
Obama.
The more liberal your state is, the higher your gas costs are.
The higher your every cost is, because these liberal states want to push us into having to live off the welfare state, because then we're
the 10 poorest states in the world, the 10 poorest states in the country are all Republican.
All red, and they all benefit from federal funding
that's right,
siphoned from New York and California, where you have economic epicenters for the country.
Oh,
so
boy.
yeah, they cost a lot more, but they contribute a heck of a lot more.
Not to me.
Well, move to Tennessee and you can suck off the
No, thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
I can't suck off anything because people in Tennessee and North Carolina still don't have fucking water, but Kamala sent them $750 per household, so I'm sure that's going to be super helpful.
Yep.
Well, they don't have water, maybe because all the Republicans who voted against funding FEMA adequately. No,
that's right.
No,
that's
not.
right.
Because of the money that FEMA
exactly right.
They don't know. FEMA came out with a statement saying that because of all the money they've used to address the illegal immigration crisis, they don't have money for another fucking hurricane.
Exactly.
Which there's a category 4 of there's a category fucking 5 of historic proportions that is gaining speed to the point where they said it's like more than above the sea can sustain. And I don't even know what the world can sustain. So I hate that FEMA is currently out of fucking funds. I'm going to shut up because that's my family. Those are my friends. That's where I spent a large portion of my childhood. And like watching those people literally stranded. My cousins haven't had running fucking water and won't have it for weeks to come. Like, this sucks. Everything that we've seen, Chimney Rock is gone. Asheville is gone. Like, this sucks. So I really don't mean to yell about this, but the Republicans aren't the fucking issue with FEMA this time. It's the egregious overspending on FEMA on things that were not national emergencies.
And on that, we are going to go to a commercial and we're going to be right back.